everybody, welcome to Wednesday, except not really because I didn't, for the first time, post a video on time. I suppose that any excuse I give is rather just an excuse. However, I will say that there were two things that factored into that, which I feel like exonerate me ever so slightly. I was very sleep deprived after having pulled an all-nighter since finals are like upon us, and because of that, or maybe just on top of that, something I ate made me really, really sick. Well, okay, really, really is a very strong way of putting it, but I was dying. Sort of. So the topic for this week was fashion, I believe, and like style and fashion. And I like to think of myself as a relatively stylish person, usually. In college, not so much, but on a day-to-day basis, I would like to think outside of these very stressful circumstances that I am. Fashion for me became important in middle school, but I actually started to do things with it in high school. I did this sort of, I don't want to say obligatory, but at my high school kind of obligatory, if you were white, you were emo phase. And I have to say, in retrospect, I did it very well. I was a very attractive MFA. Like, I actually looked quite good doing it, which some of the other kids who tried didn't. And, I mean, I guess that sounds arrogant, but looking back on it, like, I wouldn't really go for that look anymore, even though I do still see the appeal in it to a certain degree. But the attitude that I had behind it, I wouldn't want to have again, and I just feel like that look for me is a little bit stigmatized because of that. But I definitely put a lot of effort into my appearance. I woke up every day at 4:50 a.m. to get ready to go to school. So even though we had a uniform, I just decided in high school to like sort of take that and bend it a little bit. So for example, we could wear black, and I would wear like black blouses and black skirts and like fishnet stockings and then black boots. Like, I was within the bounds of the uniform, such as it was, but, and I was also very well liked by all of the staff. But if I wasn't, I'm sure they would have said, oh, that's pushing it. Maybe they thought so, but I don't know. And I would dye my hair. Like, I took very good care. I washed my hair like every other day, and I dyed it all the time. Like, I conditioned it. Like, I took very good care of myself, even though, well, except for like my weight. Like, I was out of shape, but my clothes were really nice, and I looked really nice, and I had relatively clear skin at the time because I took very good care of myself. And then once I hit college, I think that I've sort of, well, because college was the first place I was ever out in any sort of sense, to me, to anybody really. It was the first time I'd ever decided to live publicly as a guy. And so that sort of changed the way that I dealt with style, because since I'm pre-everything, I feel like I'm kind of not able, and I think it's in a very extreme way of putting it, but I feel unable to express my style the way that I did in high school. I haven't worn makeup since before the summer. So I don't wear makeup, and I don't wear skirts and dresses and all the things that I wore in high school, even though I think they do look very good on me. And here's where I kind of want to make a distinction, because I think part of the reason why, like on Tumblr, for example, I get a lot of people who say like, oh, you're one of those, what is it called, trans trenders? Because they're like, I mean, if you don't have a problem with your body, then what makes you trans? And I'm like, okay, wait. Liking skirts and dresses does not make you not trans, because trans doesn't, by definition, have anything to do with what you wear. It's about feeling dysphoric and feeling like you're in the wrong body, which I do. I mean, I hate having breasts, which, I mean, and I also identify a lot with the male gender. I feel like that's who I am, and it's not like it's not like it's like never been done that men who identify as men wore skirts and dresses. Like, that's a thing. You can look it up on YouTube. Like, there are people who do that. But I have been sort of kind of avoiding dressing like that because I have a lot working against me as far as passing is concerned, and that's sort of taking priority at the moment. So for example, I wear, and it's unhealthy, but on certain occasions I will wear a double binder, but only for the amount of time that I actually am going to be in public. I don't wear them when I'm not in public, because that's dangerous, so keep that in mind. I'm not suggesting that you do that, but because I have large breasts, sometimes in certain situations to wear certain shirts, I have to wear two. Well, It's bad. But yeah, so been wearing a lot of like button-ups, a lot of t-shirts. Basically, I've been focusing more on looking flat as opposed to looking fashionable. And I'm sort of just now getting back into like saying, well, I can be flat and fashionable, which is where the button-ups are kind of coming in because they're very good for that for me. So essentially, as far as fashion is concerned, I do consider myself somebody who appreciates, likes, and enjoys fashion, who has sort of taken a year off of it, but who intends to go back to it. I'm just going to focus more on how I can use clothes that are traditionally male to create a style that I'm happy with. As far as my hair was concerned, or is concerned in any case, my whole life, except for first grade, I have had long hair. Like, long hair as in like down my back long hair, very long. And so the decision for me to cut my hair this short took a lot, because even though it was something that I wanted to do and that made more sense for my situation as it is in college and also is in helping me pass, even though whether it does or not remains to be seen. So it took me a very, very long time to work myself up to actually cutting it, but once I decided to, it was very easy to go into the salon. I didn't cry. Like, I wasn't upset when she was cutting my hair. I was very excited, and I'm very happy with it, actually. I am much more happy with it now than I've ever been. Admittedly, my hair does not look the best today because it's raining outside, and so it's a little bit messed up. And I've also not quite gotten the hang of, because I just cut it I'm still getting the hang. I've gone through a couple of shorter styles, but this is one that I'm still getting used to because it's a little bit longer than the other two were. So I'm still getting used to styling it, but I'll insert a picture here of kind of the most, like, optimum style I would have, like if I was gonna really take the time to style it every day, what I would want, and I've done it a couple of times, but usually just for going out. So yeah. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I will do my absolute best to actually post on Wednesday. There's nothing that I can think of that would stop me from doing that, so I'll see you next Wednesday, guys. Take care.